Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm spiritual coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, September 29, 2019. Please visit my website for all my services at lisahopp.com. That's lisahopp.com. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. I've been hearing more and more feedback about how much you like these podcasts and the topics that I choose, and it's been very positive. So I just want to take a moment to tell you how much that means to me, how very grateful I am. When I hear feedback, it literally makes my day. So it's nothing like someone saying, I listen to you on Spotify all the time. Or the other day when someone said, I listen to your podcast over and over and over again. That's amazing. That's overwhelming. Thank you so much. This podcast is coming to you a little bit earlier on Sunday because I have a big day planned, which is why I'm being a little bit more quieter about how I'm speaking, because the earth hasn't quite woken up yet. But I do know that we're supposed to have a very nice fall day today, thankfully. And I'll be getting out today to enjoy that weather where I am. And I hope you all have a wonderful day where you are as well. So, as I've told you before, I kind of picked my topic last minute. And usually it just comes to me as an aha that you should talk about this. And the topic on this particular Sunday that I got that draw to do, that came out of nowhere, that plopped in to do, is the topic of why do bad things happen to good people? And on the reverse side, why do good things happen to bad people? And I want to quote with that, bad people. Because heaven, that source, that universal life force energy, does not really see us and judge us as we judge ourselves. They really don't look at us as good or bad people. They really just see us as beings of light, perfect, adored, seen with unconditional love. And they view us with mercy and tenderness. And when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about how it's so human to think that it isn't fair that those who are not the best people would have the good luck, would receive the good stuff, and how normal it is to feel that way. And I thought to myself, how do I feel about that? And I thought, no, I don't want people to receive blessings because they, quote, deserve them, because they've earned them. Because then that makes that unconditional, overwhelmingly loving source too human. And that's where those base emotions start to come into play. That's when that source does become, for us, an angry, judgmental God. One that you have to fear. One that you have to worry you're not pleasing. And that life then becomes a bit of a crapshoot. And you hope that you get the miracle. And when you don't get the miracle, you will then think to yourself, oh, I must have done something wrong. I must not have deserved it. And that would make everything I know a complete myth, a complete falsehood. I love the fact that we are made purely in the image and likeness of a great source. Even though we were given human qualities to come to this physical dimension, and it is truly the physical that gets us all off track. So to back that up and speak about it with more clarity, we are beings of light that are given a physical body in order to inhabit this dense earth. Heaven sees us only as that being of light, with great love and tenderness. We tend to see ourselves as the physical body. And the physical is impacted by its environment of the senses. So we are often led by hunger or tiredness and to the lower base energies of greed and anger and jealousy. All of those feelings come from inhabiting a physical body. But just because we inhabit a physical body doesn't mean we are judged on a physical body. And yes, we do get a review. And during that review, when we transition, we do get to feel and see and experience our impact on this world as a whole. And it is very overwhelming, but for the most part, it is overwhelming because we have no idea how great our impact was. We really don't know how much we matter. How the world would have been different without us in a very wonderful way. And yes, that review can be painful because we get to experience when we hurt someone, when we let people down, what we missed out on, what we could have had, been and done. But that's not the whole thing. And it's informational in nature. And it is given to us with great love and mercy. And that is the truth. And it's important that you know that. So back to the question of why do bad things happen to great people or innocent people? Why does a baby get cancer? Why does a 5-year-old beautiful child get taken away? Why do school children get shot? That's just a few examples of the unfairness of this physical life, of the pain of this physical life. But there is a very good reason. And I don't give these reasons out of coldness, because the physical body allows us to feel. And so even when I understand more why things happen. It doesn't mean I don't feel grief or pain or get sad or angry. And it should never be stored. It should all be felt and experienced. But even so, I do know that there is a reason for everything. And a lot of the time we can't understand what that reason is until we ourselves get to heaven. But sometimes you can see the reason. You can see heaven at work. Tragedies happen in order for us to learn a lesson, to grow, to expand, to bring change, to say enough, to evolve as a species. And many times, the soul that is impacted by a tragic event or a disease chose to experience that before they even arrived here. We either choose to experience it before we arrive, or we choose it when we are here. That does not mean it's our fault and that we are to blame. It's much larger than that. It is about our impact on mankind and our mission of service. All of us at heart want to be servers. And sometimes, well, always, I should say, an event always has a trickle effect. Even if it is personal to the people involved, it always has a ripple effect on creation as a whole. So, for instance, when a young child is taken from its parents, tragically, it is ultimately first about the parent's journey and what they are here to learn. They are here to experience. And the part that the child's soul wished to play in that. But it then has a ripple effect. Another child or more is saved. A child that wasn't going to get the love it wanted was going to get extra hugs and other forms of expression after the tragedy. Protections more are put in place to help other children. Laws are changed. People are more vigilant. So the soul who comes says, I will be the instigator of that. I will be the one that saves many more children. I will take that job. And I know that my parents may not heal completely, but I know they will also serve in their own right. And it will change them forever inside. But the change will in some ways be for the better. even if it isn't exposed at first. Heaven, God, Source, is always trying its best to give us the best life possible. And so circumstances happen in order to do that, even if they are disguised as the worst at first. Remembering a reminder here that I am not flip about saying that. The pain is real. The discomfort is intense. But there is always something going on for the greater. If you can hold strong in faith and prayer, well, your answer will often be given while you're still here on this planet. Now, why do good things happen to those who are the worst people? And I don't say it out of judgment, just observation. Because it doesn't matter if they are bad people. Remember, the omnipotent energy loves all its children equally and bestows upon them equally. You do not have to deserve. It is felt we all deserve. We are all worthy. And if you are a selfish, greedy, moralist, narcissistic person, remember it's early. If you are open to receiving the blessings of higher source, you're going to get them. And understandably, it doesn't always feel fair that someone who would never share with another would even receive it all. But here's the wonderful little safety mechanism that this source, this wonderful heaven, this wonderful God installed into our energy field, into our creative life. And that is karma. That is natural law. There's a natural law of gravity. There's a natural law of the mind. There's a natural law of what you put out, you get back. And that natural law kind of takes over, and it fully does replace the unfairness in the world. It takes care of it. And what I mean by that is, if you are a wealthy person and you are not generous and you are not kind and you are not moral, and I don't mean you're not allowed to be wealthy. You're allowed to be wealthy. But if you only take and you don't give, the universe will take care of that and take away from you. And you will not hold on to your wealth. Now, some are built that they are still open to receiving. So you may find someone who loses, gets it back, loses it and gets it back. And that happens sometimes. But if you are not in a place of putting out a higher vibration, then your life will not be of a higher vibration, and your winnings will be shorter, and what you receive will leave you. You will not be able to hold on to it. You ever notice how justice happens? Because justice always does. Doesn't always happen in a direct way. But we often get to see, quote, someone get theirs. And then there are other painful times when we don't get to see it. But please know that even if you don't get to see it, karma is always in effect. So this perfect God, this perfect universal energy, figured out to create this natural law where what we thought we get, what we feel we get, what we believe we get, if we take, it is taken from us. If we hate, we receive hate. And I'm sure that heaven is part of this natural law, because we do have angels and spirit guides and departed loved ones that help us. But truly, though, I think it's perfect and magnificent that this energy said, I won't judge you. I have to love you all the same. But I'm going to set up this law that takes care of some of that parenting for me. Almost like on autopilot. It's all on autopilot. And it's just, well, I think it's what the perfect parent would want. It just takes human emotions and human frailties right out of it. And it's not to be feared. Somebody said to me in one of my classes the other day, be careful what you wish for. And that's a very true statement, but it's often given a bit of a human connotation. It's not meant to be negative. It means what you focus on, what you intend with your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, you get. So yes, you do want to keep them as positive as possible. You want to treat your fellow man with kindness. You want to be generous. You want to be grateful. You want to be humble. You are allowed to have all the wealth. We live in an unlimited universe. You have everything you could possibly want, desire, need in your hands. It is there for you. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. All given to you with love. We live in an unlimited universe. And we are unlimited beings at our core. So heaven does not mind us being wealthy. Heaven wants us to feel free, to create, to give generously to each other. So they're not going to, this universal energy is not going to give to some and say some for you and not for others. that's just completely against what this energy is all about. So if you want to know how to have all the wealth you want, how to have all the health, all the love, open your arms, know you can have it, and ask for it. You have to know you deserve it. You have to also want it for others too. I get so pained when I'm on a social media site such as Facebook, and I just saw this, I guess you call it a meme, the other day. It's actually very hateful. And it was basically it was a post about someone who said, "Where's my Obama phone?" And below it was a picture of our current president, and the words over top of him were, "We'll get a job." You don't have to worry about what another person has, or if they've earned it, or if they're getting something you don't have. They not having does not give you more. You having doesn't give them less. There's enough for everyone. You just have to ask and want it for them too. This is not supposed to be a world, a society, where it's every man for himself. And we have to live in competition and fear and greed and hate. It was so hard for me not to say something. But it only would have continued the negativity. So I tend to draw back. I tend to leave the fight because it doesn't help anything to egg it on. I just hope for that person who wanted to post that to understand that there is nothing that somebody else has access to that you don't as well. And hate begets hate. And selfishness begets selfishness. And greed begets hate. And it's so important to give your time to love and being loving. And to having understanding and gratitude. You are, in heaven's mind, the greatest creation. You are perfection. That energy of God looks at you with such pride and adoration. As light. Look at yourself as light. See truly what you are. And especially see all of your fellow men as equals. And when you see someone that wishes not to be good, wishes not to be kind and generous, that wishes to be corrupt or dishonest, send them thoughts and prayers that they may live for the higher good of themselves and the all. And then pray that others do the same for you. And then we will live in peace and prosperity and the purest form of happiness. And earth will be as heaven, pure, unadulterated love. Reminder, we're headed there. We're in a transition into that higher energy, which is why all the craziness in this world is happening. But even though all of us are a part of that transition and will be turning towards that greater time on earth, it doesn't mean we're not supposed to do our best right now to be a creature of love, a powerful being of light. Live in love, live in gratitude, live in understanding. You will see your life turn around in such a way you'll be amazed. I can promise you that. So remember, we are all one. We are all equal. We come from unlimited source, and we have access to unlimited source. How amazing. How wonderful. How awesome. Be in awe and live the best life, starting right now. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Be sure as well to find me on YouTube under the channel of Lisa Hop. I just posted a new angel video yesterday. Also check out my website once again, lisahop.com, for all my services. And find my books on amazon.com. Take these steps now to change your life, and affirmations for everyday life. They're under books and the author Lisa M. Hop. Thank you so much for joining me again, and have a beautiful Sunday.